Arthur Brooks tells of being on a late-night cross-country flight. In the darkness, he overhears a conversation between an older couple seated in the row behind him. Or, more accurately, he overhears half the conversation. After some murmuring from the husband, he hears the wife exclaim, "It's not true that nobody needs you anymore." And then there's more murmuring from the husband. And the wife asks, "What do you mean you wish you were dead?" Brooks listened intently, but he didn't want to turn around and risk embarrassing the couple. He writes, "I formed an image of the man in my head as they talked. I imagined someone who had worked hard all of his life in relative obscurity, someone with unfulfilled dreams, perhaps of the degree he never attained, the career he never pursued, the company he never started. When the plane lands and the lights come on and everyone stands up to disembark, Brooks glances behind him, and he is stunned to find himself looking at one of the most recognizable men in all of America. Everybody around him recognizes this man. In fact, they venerate him. The pilots come out of the cockpit to shake his hand. And he has a huge smile on his face as he leaves the plane. Who among us is not like this man? So many of us have anchored our self-worth in professional success, in public recognition. And so many of us, in the darkness and quiet of the night, have doubts. We question how we've spent our days. We question decisions we've made. We question our self-worth. We wonder whether our existence has been of value, of impact. We wonder whether we've contributed something to this world. And who among us is not like the wife, asked to reassure someone we love at their time of gravest doubt? I know a man who achieved great success in his career. He was recognized as a leader in his field. He had multiple homes, traveled the world. And then one day he received difficult news from his doctor. So he gathered his family and he told them, "I need a new kidney." And to his surprise, his children immediately raised their hands, volunteering to be his donor. This, I thought, as he shared the story, is surely his greatest accomplishment. What better indication could there be that we have led a good life, a life well lived, than that our children would go to such lengths to keep us alive? We are fortunate that others who we love may see us differently from the way we see ourselves, especially in the darkest of nights. I have listened to more eulogies than the average person, it's fair to say. but all of us have heard our share. And what we know is this: what's most cherished by those we love is not the degrees and the promotions and the titles and the bank account. Children speak about the ways in which they know that a parent cared for them. A game of catch, even in the midst of a busy schedule. A favorite holiday meal, or a dish prepared on a visit home. A memorable trip to a faraway place. As the sun so slowly sinks down outside these windows, we think about how much we love those we have lost. Not for their accomplishments, not for their awards, not for their recognition, but for how they shaped us and guided us and comforted us. Bobby was passionate and bold and enthusiastic and authentic. She was a Shakespeare scholar, a staunch supporter of female leaders, and a committed political progressive. Once a summer, she gave each of her grandchildren an elaborately planned special day in Manhattan, which they cherished. Bobby passed from our congregation this year at age 78. Ted was raised in Queens, in a home full of family and laughter. He served our nation during a time of conflict, founded a successful business from scratch, established a loving family, and supported the building of a synagogue. He passed from our congregational family this year at age 90. Lois met lifelong friends and her husband during her time at Syracuse. She ran a retail fashion business and sought out the very best restaurants wherever she and her husband traveled. She was healthy in body and mind, almost to the very end of her very long life. Sadly, she passed this year at age 92. And Stephen was an extraordinary and dedicated therapist who had boundless respect and compassion for his patients. He had a way of making people feel at ease, and so they opened up to him. He was also a tremendously loving parent and grandparent. After 79 and a half very healthy years, he was sadly diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. His family gave him the very best of care, but he died this past November. These are snapshots of just a few of those whom we lost in the Jewish year 5,782. Although they are gone, we still love them very much. And for those of us who are left, let us rest in this moment, assured that our impact, our own legacy, is secure. Those we have shaped and guided and loved will remember us one day like this in years to come. We sit this afternoon with the gift of memory.